Hey folks, how you doing? Now welcome to this Facebook Live all about scheduling your social media and why you should do it, and also to get your thoughts and insights into if you don't do it, how come? So thank you very much for letting me be part of this, and also thank you very much for everyone watching on the replay. My name is Gary Jones and I'm from Grow Marketing Media, and I'm here today to talk to you all about scheduling. And we've got a packed show over the next half hour. And if you are watching on Facebook Live, say hello in the comments and connect with other people on this live, because that's what it's all about. It's all about the community. But today, I'm talking all about scheduling. So I'm going to be focusing on what you can schedule, the benefits of scheduling, when, how, where should you schedule, how do you do it? You know, what tools and tips can you get from other people on the Facebook Live, but also from me, I've used scheduling tools for years. Massive benefits to it, but can cause a massive headache if not done correctly. So this Facebook Live is all about those things, plus much more. And at the end, there's going to be a chance for a Q&A session. So if you've got any questions you want to ask me, fire them through. You know, nothing's off limits. Let us know what you think. And remember, if you are talking to, if you are doing scheduling and you want to comment during it, put it in the comments. Press the hearts, press the likes, go for it, go nuts. So, first of all, for the people who don't know what scheduling is, I'm just going to quickly run through what it is. So, scheduling is a really easy way of you composing messages, posts, tweets, whatever you want to call it, for different social medias, and then pre-programming them in a software or an app where you can then set them to go off into those social medias platforms at different times. For instance, you can have scheduling on one part of your scheduling app. You could have posts going out to Facebook a couple of times a day. You could have them going out onto Twitter different times a day. Instagram, you get the idea. But scheduling basically means that you can pre-program posts to go out whenever you want. This straight away means that you don't have to be online 24/7, but your audience, your following, your connections will still see your content. That's just not one of the only benefits, but that's what a scheduling app does. Now, there's loads of them on the market. So if you are using any scheduling apps, please put them in the comments below and share with people the ones that you've used. What you found have been really good, what you found have been really bad, put them in the comments below. While you're doing that, I'm just going to talk to you through some of the ones that I've personally used. There's loads out there, but these are 4 of the ones that I've used myself or experienced myself. So the ones that I've used range from Hootsuite, Buffer, Meet Edgar, Content Cow, and I'm going to throw a 5th one in, TweetDeck. So let's break them down into individual ones. So number 1, Hootsuite. I use this with a client at the moment, and I've used Hootsuite on and off for years. It's a great scheduling tool which starts at a free package where you can schedule up to 30 messages over, I think, a couple of platforms at one time. But because it's free, you can test it out and see what it's like. It's nice and straightforward. You can add streams into it, which means that you can monitor conversations. You can monitor hashtags on it as well, which is quite useful. But the main thing is that you can see it in nice columns going down the screen, and it's nice and straightforward. Mobile app is available as well, so you can do it on the go. Then, my favourite one, and this is one that I use every day for my clients, is Buffer. And I know there's a couple of people on here who use Buffer as well. Now, in terms of Buffer, this is great because, just like Hootsuite, you can schedule different messages at different times, but also you can rebuffer. Now, this post means and allows you to use existing content that you've got in your Buffer stream, and then, because you've got them already in the Buffer stream, it's saved, you can then rebuffer it so it goes back into your queue. You can also on Buffer create a posting schedule, so you can automatically say to Buffer, I want to program the next 20 tweets to go out on a Monday at 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So it is really, really useful to do and use those. Apologies for the interruption just then. So Buffer is a really cool way of you checking that out. So that's Hootsuite and Buffer. Third one is all about TweetDeck. Now TweetDeck's just for Twitter, so if you're just using it for Twitter, great, TweetDeck's a great one to use. For me, because I would like to schedule on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn as well, TweetDeck hasn't got the functionality there, but TweetDeck is very similar to Hootsuite and Buffer, where you can program it and you can follow conversations and lists there. So they're the top three. Two other ones that you can use, which I've had experiences with: Meet Edgar, which is really good for evergreen content. And when I mean evergreen content, what I'm talking about is content that doesn't have... Sorry, these are your blogs. These are your website links. These are all the things that you can basically repurpose time and time again. Now, what they'll do with Meet Edgar is you will have, let's say, 20 messages in your Meet Edgar calendar or content library, and then you basically it will just keep repeating. So it's really good for getting your messages out there and keep sending them out. Lastly even, is Content Calendar. Now this is a new platform which is founded by a guy called Andy Lambert. Now this is really good, and I'm just learning about this. There's no mobile app for it at the moment, but once there is, I'm going to be on this because it's got all the best bits of Hootsuite, Buffer, and also Meet Edgar. But also you can set campaigns on there. So you can say for the next 12 weeks, I am running a social media campaign about topic number one. You know, for me, it could be about video, it could be about creating content. For you, it could be about a particular skill, it could be a particular product or a service. But then under that campaign, you can then designate different tweets, different posts to go out between that. That is genius, and I love it. So my dog's just saying hello. So my content count is good, but the top 5 ones that I've seen and I've used are, as I've said, Hootsuite, Buffer, TweetDeck, Meet Edgar, and Content Count. Now, what are the benefits of scheduling? So I've just mentioned about the top 5 platforms to use when you want to schedule, but what are the benefits? Well, they give you more time. You know, if you're programming these messages in and asking them to be sent out at a different time, this gives you more time to have conversations. And as we all know, that's when the magic happens. It's not when you schedule in a message, it's when you chat to people, it's when you talk to people. That is when the magic happens on social media. And that is one of the biggest headaches with scheduling, is if you just rely on scheduling and you don't talk to people. So number 1, it gives you more time. Number 2, what it also does is means that you're more consistent with your social media, because even if you know when to post because your audience is going to be around, you don't know if actually they're seeing your posts unless they're liking and commenting on it. And with the algorithms on Facebook and LinkedIn, they show you the posts that they believe, unless you've got your settings differently, I know, but they will show you the ones that show most engaged, which they think you would appreciate more. So with being more consistent and throwing your messages out there, you are playing a game that actually says to people, I'm here, these are my messages, and you're allowing them to actually see your content more. So actually it's really useful to be more consistent. Also, it gives you a really easy way of I'm going to start that one again. So basically it gives you a really easy way of allowing people to see your content in an easy way, which they can just check out at their own time. They don't have to wait for a Facebook Live like this. They don't have to go onto a particular website because they're already on that platform. It just makes it so much easier to show the content. So they're just 3 quick benefits of scheduling. If you've got any more, pop them in the comments below. Now, I know by the comments that I've seen on the screen that a lot of people are loving Hootsuite and Buffer. And to be fair, they're the 2 main ones that I used. Now, we've spoken about what is scheduling, benefits of scheduling. Now, when you should schedule is an interesting question. And this varies depending on what industry and what target market you're looking at. So let's have a look at it. So when should you schedule your posts? Put them in the comments below, and while you're doing that, I'm going to be mentioning a few experiences that I've seen. So for me, this really depends on what audience you're trying to market to. Because if, let's say, you're targeting people who are mega busy, but they check their phones and they check social media in the mornings before they kind of get out of bed, or when they're checking their email, so first thing in the morning, you don't want to be posting in the mid-afternoon for them, because frankly they're going to miss your messages. But equally, if you're looking to talk to, people like school mums, or people who are going to be, online at particular points during the day. Now I say mums or parents or dads who pick up children from school as an example, you probably know that they'll get to the school, they might, you can correct me if you want to, but they might get to school 15 minutes before they actually need to. So what will they do? They'll grab their phone out and they'll check Facebook, they'll check Instagram, they'll check Twitter, they'll check LinkedIn, whatever platform they're on. That's the time when you should be sending out messages for that audience. Equally, if you're a nighttime economy, so a cafe, restaurant, evening kind of entertainment, like live music or a club, then actually a lot of people might be looking to find information probably around, between the 4 to 7 o'clock to figure out what they want to do that evening, or check out what they want to do later on. So for me, you need to know your audience to know what time is best for scheduling. And it's going to be different for everyone, because everyone knows their market, everyone knows their audience and following more personally than anyone else. So what I would do to tell you to kind of give you advice of when to schedule, figure out when your market is, and then work out when they're online and go from there. Some of the good bits, kind of good advice to kind of general advice you can use is first thing in the morning is always good to catch the early birds. Lunchtime is always good to catch people who are checking it on their lunch break. Also, people who have missed morning content might see it in the afternoon, and then in the evening. And after 9 o'clock is a great time to go live like this, or it's a good time to post a question, because then actually people are just checking their phones when they're winding down. And I say phones because most people are checking social media now on their phones rather than a laptop, or phones or tablets, so a mobile device. So actually it's really, really good and really easy to find out when your audience is. And if you're not sure, check your insights. You've got your Twitter analytics, you've got your Facebook insights. They will tell you when your posts are getting more engagement. Now, if your post at 8 o'clock in the morning are getting 0 engagement, but your post at 9 o'clock are, then change the time. This is all in your control, but you need to make sure that you're sending out messages when your customers are around. Now, I see there's a few comments going along there. And I'll follow some of these questions up later on, especially what is the point of scheduling, and also about the concern about the scheduling that owners don't reply, which Jocelyn has just sent through. I'll go back to that because that's an interesting point. Now, the simple fact is, what content can you schedule? So we've spoken about how to do it, we've spoken about what platforms to go, the benefits of it, but what content should you schedule? Now, the people who are scheduling, who are watching this, please put in the comments now what content you schedule, and I'll tell you my experiences while you're doing that. So, in terms of what I believe you could schedule, it's quite simple. It's anything that you want your audience to see at a particular time, which can be anything from a blog, it could be a video, it could be a picture, it could be an event, it could be a video that you want to premiere on Facebook Watch or Facebook Premiere. It could be, just a message that you want to put into a group. Whatever content you want to put out there, you can put into a scheduling term. There's no kind of limits on it, because most platforms will schedule content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google+, all that jazz. So, there's a lot of misconception that you just have to put text in there, or you just have to, schedule pictures. It's not like that at all. You schedule what your customers want to see and what you want to do. Now, the most popular ones for me is items that are evergreen, which means that actually people are going to keep seeing the content and it's not going to go out of fashion. It's not time specific. Now, blog posts are really good for me, which is great. Lisa's put save day notes, events, FF recommendations for Twitter, so you don't forget, you know, it's all that kind of stuff. And people who don't know what FF is, it's Follow Friday. But the main thing is to do stuff that either you're good, as Lisa said, you might forget, or you do stuff that's going to keep driving traffic, which is part of your key messages. Now, the easiest way for you to do this is to create a key message bank or a content library. You know, they're two terms that I use with all my clients, and all that means, quite simply, is you've got a list of 20 or 30 different messages that you want to send out to your audience that you are pre-programmed in a spreadsheet or a notes or wherever you want to keep them, but they're electronic, so you can literally just copy and paste them into the scheduling tool. Job done. As long as you've got your key messages, you know that you're never going to be in that situation where you're thinking, what the hell do I post? I haven't posted for 2 days. What do I post? Key messages solves that straight away. The content library is dead simple. If you write blogs, you've got videos, you've got Facebook Lives, you've got interviews, podcasts, whatever the content is, you've got them again in the spreadsheet. And it could be a different page of the same spreadsheet where you can literally just go onto it. You've got the title, you've got the link, you can just share that with someone. It's so easy. But it's a really good organisational way of you saving time, but also then still giving value to your audience by sharing content that they're going to enjoy, appreciate, and big one, get value out of. So that's kind of how I see the content that you can share. Also, if you're, let's say, building a video series, for instance, or a blog series, or you're releasing content over a course of 6 or 7 weeks, but you want to make all the content all in one go, you can schedule all that content in, so you know that the next 6 weeks worth of blogs or next 6 weeks worth of videos, whatever it will be, is already in your scheduling tool, and you've got it all planned out. How easy is that? You know, you don't want it to be difficult. You want to save time scheduling to make sure that you've got more time for conversations. That's the trick. So some of the stuff I schedule, as I say, videos, pictures, events, blogs, website links are the most common ones that I use, but there's going to be more. And I can see a number of people have looked at these at the moment. Remember, if you've got any other ideas about what stuff you've put in scheduling tools in the past, put them on there. And if you're not sure about how to do video, how to create a blog, even where to host a blog, you know, have a chat with people in the group. Put it in the comments below, because there's going to be someone in the group that is going to be able to help you, or there's someone in your network who could potentially give you a hand. So we've covered a fair bit so far. If you've got any questions about scheduling, put them in the comments below, and then I'll answer them as we go along. Now, we've already covered a lot of hints and tips about scheduling. I'm just going to talk about a few headaches. So the problems that you could face if you schedule you know, wrong, incorrectly, or you're not happy doing it. So in terms of some of the headaches, the main one is making sure that your messages are on point and they're hitting your target at the right time. Jocelyn pointed out that some business owners haven't replied to her or haven't seen their messages, and it could be down to a number of factors. It could be that they have seen the message but the content isn't very good. I hate to say it, but you never know. It could be because they just haven't physically seen it. They might have not seen it because they might not have engaged with your post in the past, or they might not have been online and their feed's just too heavy now and it's gone down their list. Or it could be actually it's not relevant to them at this point in time. You don't know what that reason is, but it could be one of those 3 reasons why they haven't interacted with the post. So I would say tackle them individually. Make sure you're posting at the right time. Make sure that your content is grabbable and it's easily absorbed. So if it's a video, you've got subtitles underneath. If it's a link, make sure the link works. Make sure that there's a photo on the actual post. You need to make sure that the post is as attractive as you can to give them more of a chance of seeing it and interacting with it. Now, there's a few more headaches that you could do, and I'm going to go on to one that's on the comments at the moment by Dave, and that is making sure that your content is scheduled at the right time. Now, when I mean scheduling at the right time, is you can set your Buffer, Hootsuite, whatever you want to do, whatever platform you want to do, to send out messages at a particular time. Now, when you're talking about Twitter, for instance, if you don't know, there's what we call Twitter hours, Twitter networking hours, Twitter chats, where people can go on it and they can talk about a particular subject or a particular location, and then use a hashtag of that hour to communicate and talk to people. I used to run Leamington Hour. I know there's Warwick Hour, there's Leamington Hour still, there's Cov Hour, there's Kenilworth Hour, there's loads of hours out there. Check it out if you haven't already on Twitter. But what happens is that people go onto these hours, or potentially could go onto these hours, and they program tweets in their scheduling tool, and they literally just throw tweets out, send them out. There's no interaction on the hour, and as I already said right at the start of it, the magic isn't in scheduling. It's about giving you more time to talk to people, and this is what people don't do, is they talk to people. So they just spam these Twitter hours. On the same point though, when the clocks go back or go forward, they keep it at the same time. So therefore, actually, they're doing themselves a complete disjustice because their messages aren't even reaching the hours. So you've got to make sure that if you're scheduling your content, it gives you time to really provide value to that people who are watching you or listening to you or interacting with you online. But also, you're sending it out at the right time, because otherwise you're wasting time. And some of the don'ts for me for scheduling is things like Twitter hours. You don't schedule stuff. If you want to be there, be there. If you don't want to be there or you can't be there, don't. National days as well are really good for, you can program all the national days in, or fun days, and you can create a nice, easy calendar for those. Really good tip there, Kelly. Thank you. But some of the other don'ts are scheduling stuff which, kind of goes against what other people are saying in terms of national news. For instance, something happens in the world which is devastating. And I don't want to bring the tone down here, but let's say, something massive in the world happens. You don't really want to share any good news potentially on that day that could, if your audience or your location is actually involved in it. It's just bad taste. It's not right. You just wouldn't do it in real life. You wouldn't hear about someone's bad news and go, "Hey, good news, I've just got a new blog." You wouldn't do that. But the problem is, if you scheduled it all in and you're not aware of it, or you're aware of the situation but you haven't reacted to it by changing your social media, you could be sending out a really inappropriate message without realising it. So when you're scheduling, you've got to make sure that actually you're reviewing it quite often. I'll probably say every couple of days, to make sure your messages are still on point, and actually if you need to change them, you can. Don't send out a message that is going to harm your business, harm your reputation, just because you just haven't correlated that this event's happened and my tweet could anger a particular audience. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Big corporations have been sent down and had negative publicity for doing just this. So it's not just, one particular industry that's culpable to it. Everybody is. So please, please, please don't do it. Okay, so I've got 5 minutes left on this live, and I'm going to talk now about how you can manage your social media. Now, easiest way that I recommend people do is that they spend an hour a week planning their messages. Now, that hour a week can be writing down them on a spreadsheet. They could be talking to people and finding out what events they're going to be in, planning your diary. Main thing is really sitting down in front of your computer, your laptop, your tablet, your phone, and really talking about what I'm really thinking about even, and writing down messages that you want to send out that particular week. Do it a week at a time to start off with, and a week would probably take an hour at the start. Your time will go down, but really sit down and just work out what messages you want to send out, who you really want to contact, what blogs you want to send out, what videos you want to send out, what links you want to send out, what events you want to promote, and then put it all into, as I said, some like Hootsuite, Buffer, TweetDeck if you're using Twitter. You know, put it into those, and then spend a little bit of time tweaking the messages so you haven't got the same message for Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You got more hashtags on Instagram, you got less on Facebook, you're using different terminology on LinkedIn than you would do on the other platforms. But then, you know, after that 1 hour, your whole message, your whole social media plan is pretty much set for that week. Because then that gives you time every day to go on and just spend 15-20 minutes interacting with people, talking to people, commenting, liking, sharing their posts, going into groups and talking to them. This is, as I said before, this is where the magic happens. When you start talking to people, that's when you're really going to start having a conversation. So that is my big plan and big hint, big tip about how to manage your scheduling. It is literally just spending time once a week, sitting down and then just planning it. And hey, if you get it ahead and you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, great. You know, that's what you want to do. Aim for at least a post a day on each platform, at least a post a day, and that's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Ideally, you're looking at maybe 3 on Twitter, 2 on Facebook, and then a couple on Instagram. I remember with stories as well, you can update them more often. But you really need to just make sure that you are making sure that your content is providing as much value as possible. With the key messages, the content library, once you've got those, it makes it a lot quicker to actually do. And I can see that there's a couple of comments coming through now, which is great. And I will apply to those at the end as well. But remember, you know, use the people in this Facebook Live, in this group, in this community, to ask any questions that you have. And if you're watching it on the replay, remember, I can still answer your questions afterwards. Or if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever I repurpose it, I will get back to you. So that's how I would recommend to manage your day. Now, Lisa has just made another headache and another good point, that when you reply to it, and I apologise for the dog barking at the moment, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are still checking your replies, because as I said before, it's all about the interaction, and it's all about people engaging with you. Now, I have pretty much covered all my points. If you've got any questions, please put them below, because this is your chance to ask me any questions. And if you are watching it on the replay still, remember, still put them on there. I just want to recover a few of the main points while anybody is putting the questions on there. So, in a nutshell, scheduling should be a way of you, thank you. So, scheduling should be a way of you putting out content that's consistent, that provides value to your audience. That's what it should do. It shouldn't be a crutch. It shouldn't be a way of you ticking that box and saying, yes, I've done my social media. That should only be the start. And it should only free you up for more time and free you up to actually talk to more people. Now, how you can do that is on different platforms like Hootsuite, Buffer, TweetDeck, Content Cow, Meet Edgar, and there's loads more. There's probably about 30 odd at the moment on the market, but I can only talk for ones that I've personally used. Now, the content you should share, nice and straightforward, videos, pictures, links, and all of those kind of stuff. In terms of what you're looking at for scheduling, make sure that your content provides value to your audience, that it's not going to be sent out at the wrong time. It's sent out at the time where your audience is online, and also you're reviewing it and responding to messages correctly. But also, it is about just playing about with it, and don't be scared of it. Test it out, see if you like it. There's 3 versions of these out there, and then afterwards, if you are stuck, you can contact me, contact Lisa in the group, and then we'll be able to help. That's been about half hour. If anyone's not got any more questions, then I'm going to leave it there. Kate's just put one about hashtags on Facebook. Honest answer is that people do use hashtags on Facebook. They are searchable on Facebook. The effectiveness I can't really talk about because I haven't measured it. What I do believe though is that as other people are using it, I would say you could include it. Don't use too many, only use 2 or 3. You want to make sure your message stands out more than the hashtags. Hope that answers your question. Take care everyone, and thank you very much for joining me today. Remember, if you've got any more questions, put them in the comments below, and I will talk to you again later on. Take care my friends. Bye bye.